We're in the camper van with the girls, and the girls have all been really, really good. There's been no crying or fighting, and they're doing everything that they always said that they would do. Eppie has let Nellie sleep on top of the bunk bed. Eppie hasn't cried or been a cranky arse all day, and Nan's not a cranky little cow whenever she wants to be. So the three girls are lovely. They're such lovely little girls. Isn't that right, girls? Yeah, that's fighting talk. Right, will I tell you about me years ago when I worked in the factory? Years ago, when I was a little boy, listen Nellie, I used to do a summer job and I worked in the Playdoh factory. And there was a Playdoh factory in Gorey. And I used to have to get a lift into Gorey with a neighbour of mine. And he used to give me a lift in. Do you want to hear the story, Nan? And I used to work in the factory, but the thing in the factory, lads, you were making green Playdoh, yellow Playdoh, blue Playdoh, red Playdoh, pink, whatever colour you wanted they were making. But they were making it by the buckets. Yeah, white Playdoh as well. The same as yours. And they were making buckets of it, lads. They were making buckets of it. Barrels and barrels of Playdoh. There was whole...
Sparkly ones, because on telly I saw sparkly ones.
There was sparkly ones. There was ones with other colours going through them. There was the smelly Playdoh that smelled like candy.
It's like my one.
Yeah. There was glow-in-the-dark Playdoh. There was even a chocolate Playdoh that you could actually play with and then you could eat it. There was chocolate Playdoh. That was very popular.
Chocolate Playdoh? Can you eat the chocolate Playdoh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yummy.
You could make the toys and eat them, right?
But it had
There was white chocolate Playdoh and there was black chocolate Playdoh and then there was jelly Playdoh.
What about the milk chocolate one?
Yeah, that was in it, and there was Playdoh with nuts in it, Playdoh with cookies in it, and there was even ice cream Playdoh.
It had down like Playdoh.
Yeah.
Ice cream Playdoh ever melt?
No, it did part. Well, it melted in your mouth as soon as when your mouth would melt.
Down like Playdoh, Daddy?
Lads, was you? Yeah, loads of it, buckets of it, like that, Nan. Yeah, but every day the man in the factory say you can take home whatever little bits of Playdoh that fell out of the big barrels. And I used to bring home a bucket every day, lads, and the bucket would be got to be that size, big size bucket, right? And I used to bring it home. And one of the things that I always wanted was my own car, right?
Is that Daddy?
Yeah, yeah. And because I was getting lift to Gorey, so I used to start bringing home bits to Playdoh, bits and like big buckets of it. And I started to make a car. I made.
What would get that?
Yeah, a big car now. I made a like size Ronin car. Yeah. Yeah. I made the doors, I made the engine, I made the gearbox, I made the tyres, the wheels, the nuts, the bolts, everything out Playdoh.
Exactly. What
Yeah.
colour was the car?
It was kind of goldy colour.
Like Lisa's car.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Playdoh battery.
Yeah, Playdoh battery for the starter car. The one thing that I was missing, and it was my last day before the summer holidays broke, I was missing the steering wheel. So I needed a lot of stuff to make the steering wheel. So I told your man in the factory, and he goes, "No bother." And I said, "Tell you what, I'll give you a hand." And he gave me a lift home, and I showed him the shed where Dickie shed, and then so he opened the door, and he saw the Playdoh car, and he walked around with it. He said, "Did you make this?" And I said, "Yeah." And I said, "Yeah. Yeah.
You even have the number on it.
Everything." Now here's a
Even if it was a Volkswagen, did you have it on?
Yeah, it was a Volkswagen. It was it was a Volkswagen car, a Beetle. Yeah.
It had yours Playdoh.
Yeah. So listen.
It had Gamma's Playdoh.
Yeah. So your man came, listen to the story. The man came and he gave me a hand, made the steering wheel, put the steering wheel on. He said, "That's the best replica car I've ever seen," he says to me, right? And I said, "What do you mean?" Yeah. I said, "What do you mean a replica?" He said, "Like it's a good, like you made a really good job of it." And I said, "No." I said, "That's more than a replica." I said, "Oh, what do you mean? The wheel's torn?" And I said, "No." He said, "Get me some petrol there." I said, "What do you mean?" So I opened up the petrol. Know where the petrol goes in? And he goes, "God, you made a petrol thing and all like the real car." And I said, "Sure." it is a real car. And he goes, what do you mean it's a real car? I said, put the petrol in. I said, are you sure? And I said, I am sure. I put the petrol in, and I said, sit in. So he opened the doors. The doors opened up perfect. They were made of Playdoh. They opened perfect. And he sat in. The seats were made of Playdoh. Lads, the seats were lovely and soft. All were gorgeous. Yeah, and I took out the key, and I'd made a key out of Playdoh. Yeah, and I put it into the ignition, and he goes, you're taking the piss now. And I said, I'm not. And I turned it, and you know what sound it made? And he says, is this, what? Is this car real? Yeah. And he said, you're after taking a different engine out. And I said, no, I didn't, I made it. So I popped the bonnet of the car and I walked around, and inside it was the whole engine was made out of Playdoh. And your man could not believe it. And he looked and everything was... So he phoned his friends, and his friends came around. Next minute, I got the phone started ringing with Mammy at home, and it was RTE News. And they came over to film it. They filmed me. I was only about 14. It was what's the age of Kieran? Sean Goff.
I think he's 16.
Well, it was Sean then. He's only about 12, isn't he?
Yeah.
And he said, "This, I was on RTE News. You can see the videos of me on RTE News on YouTube." And then Sky News came over, and they came over from Canada and Australia and America. And I was all over all the television stations for weeks and weeks and weeks. Young boy in Ireland makes car out of Playdoh, right, Nellie? So what they did was, in Germany, where they made Volkswagen, they wanted to show this car off. So they brought me over to Germany, and they brought the car over, and they toured around, and I got loads of money, and I was able to buy loads of things like sweets and jumpers and stuff like that over it, right? And I did that all that summer, and sure, Mammy and them were able to get some money. I was able to get I got some money from Nanny and Dickie. Yeah, and I was able to get the hall papered, and I was able to get carpet for my bedroom, and I was able to get a wallpaper for my room and a little pool table. So all lads, I was I was loaded, right? You know what's it, Nan? But the thing was, the thing is, the thing is though, lads, after the car came back from Germany after one of the big trips, do you know what happened? It started to rattle and shake, and it actually, all the Playdoh kind of cracked off it.
No, in the other story you said, in 2 years.
Oh, it was 2 years. About 2 years. Sorry, I got it wrong. About 2 years. Oh, the car eventually kind of just fell apart. But if you go into Wexford now, lads, right? And if you go out near where the giraffe is and the elephant, know them out there by the river? There, you can see my car. It's a Volkswagen. The shed of my car, a man kept it up. We sold it onto him for, I think for some spuds or something. And the car is still there, and you can still see it. And I must show you the video of me on YouTube. I was only about 12 driving this Playdoh car. It's quite cool. And even when the car was smelling, you know the way cars are smelly? It actually smelled the Playdoh. It was lovely.
Did you put like some ice cream Playdoh in it?
I did. The ones you can eat?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. I used to put I made the back, know where you put your head on the back of the car?
Yeah.
I made them of ice cream, and when you were hungry in a journey, you turn around and start nibbling on them. It was quite nice. The only thing, mice would get in and start eating the Playdoh on you, and they'd eat holes in the car. It was called mouse rot, to call it. So mice would eat it.